Last time on Square Roots, Gareth is saved from the hunger and pain of a life on the streets by a kindly and charitable organization, so he repays them by fucking off for a life of crime. Later, he brings the hammer down on some religious fanatics and pulls a total Lara Croft by raiding a tomb. And he didn't even have the decency to put on short shorts and a crop top. Come on, devs, throw mommy a bone.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Jim's friends.
John Constantine Brandon.
I'm really proud of how Vanessa said Lara.
I think she said Gareth, though, like he's the Goblin King.
Isn't it Jared?
And Vanessa.
I consciously said Lara to satisfy Johnny, and I genuinely believed that the character's name in this game was Gareth.
Oh.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time, and this is Thief Series Episode 2.
My favorite part of this episode is when Gareth starts dancing around and telling people that they remind him of a babe.
What babe?
The babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Hoodoo.
You do.
Oh, thank you.
Is that racist?
It might not be racist, but man, Johnny jumped in on my joke. Did you see that?
What?
I think it was my joke.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I did the callback, and then Johnny's like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, he did. He just trampled you.
He
Wait,
did.
I-
He was like,
Would
get
you
out
like
of
to
my
have a
way!
shot at it?
Get
Yeah,
out of my
here.
way!
Do it
Would you
again?
remind me of the babe? I don't want to do it.
No, do it.
My favorite part of this episode is when Garrett starts dancing around and telling people that they remind him of a babe.
Who's Garrett?
Vanessa, don't forget to
Gaming
laugh.
news.
Laugh in your
I think
special
there's a
way,
fair
Vanessa.
bit of news.
Who? What? Me?
Where, when, why, how?
I don't
Yeah, I
laugh
said-
on command. I'm not your
Laugh in
monkey
your
robot.
special way. You're not a clink clank automaton girl.
We can't sing that song anymore. It's problematic, I told you.
Okay, it's not
I'm pretty
because
sure
it's a
that-
off-brand version.
Yeah, I think that your dollar store version of this song isn't problematic. It's just
Nope, I'm not doing any more Bresdan Balls, which is the band that made the automatons out the door. No more Bresdan Balls songs.
All right, let's quit fucking around because we have a lot of hot gaming news to discuss, and I'm going to start us off.
Okay.
All right, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because the hottest game of all announced their new cast for their next season. That's right, I'm talking about Taskmaster.
Catmaster?
Oh my god! This is amazing! I am so happy right now. This is all the time. I'm like, why can't we have real news on this show? Why can't we have the things that people care about, the news people want, the stuff that the public deserves and needs to know? And here's Matt bringing it. Matt,
That's
10
right.
points to you. That's right, 10.
Thank you.
Double
Wow.
points. I know the
Double
scale
points.
goes from 1 to 5. Not today, baby.
You're over-explaining the joke. Taskmaster announced their new cast for their next season. I don't know what number it is. 17? Is that
No,
right?
higher.
Seriously? I don't care. And the reason I bring it up is because a famous American podcaster is gonna be on the show. That's right.
I am?
Vanessa!
Yeah, it's about time. It's
All right,
about
it's not really Vanessa.
time. No.
We've already spoiled it on the show many times, but it's Jason Mantzoukas. I'm excited to watch Taskmaster this coming season. I want to see
That-
what old
is how I
Zooks
feel.
does.
When does it premiere?
We don't know yet. They like to keep it secret, keep it close to the vest.
That's good marketing. In the in the group chat, I said that I hope it premieres soon, so you guys can watch it sooner.
That was, like,
what
the
I meant
nicest
was
thing you've ever
that was
said.
like half of what I meant, because what I meant to say was I hope it premieres soon and then ends soon, and then you will soon stop talking about it.
Aw.
So
Joining Jason Mantzoukas are a couple people I'm excited about. There's Fathia El Ghori, who was on Big Fat Quiz of the Year this year, and she's a very funny stand-up, kind of a up-and-comer of sorts. And Rosie Ramsey, who is the wife of Chris Ramsey, former Taskmaster contestant. So won't that be interesting? We all remember Chris Ramsey as the guy who shouted, "No way!" all the time. And Sausage Machine.
Yes.
that sounds like cheating.
Like cheating on her husband because she's going
No.
to have so much more fun with Taskmaster. And she's gonna
Sounds
be
like nepotism.
You can't satisfy me anymore.
She's
Well,
gonna
the
have
thing
like an
is-
inside track on how the game works,
The
unlike the other
reason
contestants.
that Chris and Rosie are so famous is they both co-host one of the biggest podcasts in the UK. So it's
Whoa.
less nepotism and more like having both the Parker brothers on.
Assuming their podcast is way behind the Square Roots podcast.
It is called the Tea with Chewsdays podcast because it's
The Tea with
English.
Tuesdays podcast.
Tuesdays, isn't it?
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tuesday, isn't it? I think Johnny's making a reference to something that none of us understand.
Well, just English things. Tea, Tuesdays, isn't it? I don't know. It wasn't a very good joke. But I'm
it's
tired.
just those are just random. They're not. That's not like a phrase.
No.
I thought it was a play
Oh.
on like coffee on Mondays or something. And I'm
There
like,
should have
is that
been
a podcast
Tea
I
for
don't know
Tuesday.
about?
Tea for Tuesday. That would have been better.
That would be a
name
great
for a
name for a
podcast.
gossip podcast that
Yeah.
comes out on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
TM,
sorry,
TM, original
listeners.
idea, don't steal.
Does anybody have any other hot gaming news?
I do,
Yeah.
and this is
Oh.
news fresh from my spout. No one else has ever talked about this news. There's a new Resident Evil movie coming out with a crazy director.
Like,
it-
crazy as in he needs help.
Like,
He needs help.
Is it Mel Gibson?
Yes, finally,
M.
in
Night
his
Shyamalan?
follow-up to The Beaver, and did he make?
He just had a movie come out in theaters this week.
Oh,
No way.
wow!
Yeah, that new Mark Wahlberg movie where he plays like an assassin on a plane. I'm
no.
90%. I think that's a Mel Gibson movie.
Huh.
Oh,
is it? I was
God.
really interested in that movie. You just ruined it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I thought the same thing when I learned it was Mel Gibson.
No, it's the guy who directed Barbarian.
No. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the guy doing Resident Evil. That's not the guy doing the Mark Wahlberg.
Okay,
No, you were right. That is Mel Gibson. I looked it up.
no, but I'm saying to my original statement.
We
you'll
get
never.
it. Mel Gibson is going to be.
No,
directing a
it's
Resident
not
Evil
Mel
movie. Stop
Gibson.
playing
It's the
yourself.
guy who
Barbarian.
directed Barbarian. Everyone's
Guy who
favorite
directed
director.
Barbarian was Mel
Yeah, his name is
Gibson.
Zach Kreger.
Is that
Right?
Is that a good thing? Are we happy about this? Like, you wouldn't rather get something original out of him instead of another fucking Resident
I'm
Evil?
with Matt. I'm
That
with
feels
Matt.
very tonally correct. Like I don't know, assuming that it has a similar tone to Barbarian, which it probably doesn't. But that feels like tonally correct for a Resident Evil movie.
It should be,
Barbarian is very similar to Resident Evil 7 in that it's
Kind of, yeah.
terrifying at the beginning and then it gets really dumb. Yes, Johnny.
I believe that it should be a shot-for-shot remake of Resident Evil 1, the game, like Gus Van Sant remade Psycho. So it'll just be like people walking with really loud footsteps, and then Barry saying, "I'm giving this to you, the master of unlocking. Take this."
Wasn't there a line about almost being a sandwich?
You were
almost a Jill sandwich.
You were almost a Job
you were almost-
sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flubs the line. He says Job.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so I think it
You know
should
what?
be exactly
That's
that.
interesting news, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I have some news as well. Microsoft did a kind of a boring direct, but they did announce the release date of that Claire Obscura Expedition 33 RPG.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Charlie Cox. It comes out April 25th or 24th, one of those days.
Oi, I'm Charlie. Charlie Cox.
Oi!
Wow, he's here.
They also announced. They showed a lot of. Oh, John, did you have something to say?
Oh no, you finish yours. I just have my next news
Oh,
item.
I was gonna say they also showed a bunch of gameplay for the new Doom game, Doom: The Dark Ages, and I didn't care about it at first, but then I saw the gameplay, and it's like a super modern version of almost like the classic Doom strafing gameplay and dodging projectiles, kind of first-person shooter, and that seems like a fun mix of like old and new Doom. Like it's less acrobatic and way like more slow, but it looks very cool.
I heard some people
kind of tempted to get in
didn't
it.
like that puzzle combat of Doom Eternal because like you had to use certain weapons to defeat certain monsters and sort of always switching between them.
Yeah, I did not care for that.
I didn't like the I love the verticality of those Doom games, but I didn't like you have to jump and you have to always be jumping and always be shooting and swinging in Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
That didn't work for me. But I do love that Doom 2016.
Yeah, I didn't finish either one of those games, but with 2016, it was like, this is good, but I've had enough. And with Eternal, it was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, John.
Assassin's Creed Shadow delayed, but there have been some play tests by game review types and influencers, and apparently is really good. It's not totally back to the original one-hit kill everyone gameplay, but it's still more like Odyssey and Valhalla and all that. But apparently it just plays really well. Like generally,
Nice.
If you do like a drop kill on someone, it'll kill them. And apparently it's super good. The reason they're delaying it is that Ubisoft has had so many misses in the past 2 years that if this game isn't a huge seller right out the door, basically the company's boned.
Yeah, what games did they flub really bad?
Well,
They flubbed
Outlaws
Skull and Bones.
It was
Bomb,
broken
right?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a bomb. It's doing well, and I think long term is going to do fine for the company. But they were hoping for a really great opening month, like for their pocketbooks, and it didn't because the game was broken when it was released.
Negative cash flow.
Well, and also
Exactly.
because they went woke, so obviously now they are going.
Yeah, go woke, go broke.
It's one of those
Speaking
games
of
that I
woke
think you
games-
should play.
Speaking of woke games, there's one coming out that I'm kind of interested in called South of Midnight. It's coming out.
Oh, I was watching gameplay videos of that today and thought it looked really neat.
Yeah, it's coming on April 8th with Game Pass, and it does seem like a gym kind of game because it's all about like sort of cryptids and the American Deep South and like a
Yeah, it looks super cool.
Yeah.
I think like when I saw the promotional art for it, it kind of looked like there's a lot of like side scrolling like dialogue puzzlers that hit Game Pass, you know what I mean? Like those visual novel games, and I kind of just assumed it was one of those. But no, it's like it looks like a really cool action RPG.
Yeah, and it's woke because it has a black female protagonist. Whoa. Just squeaked right in.
That's
before that
double
thing
woke.
Isn't allowed anymore.
Wow, that
Yeah,
sounds like a DEI game.
exactly.
Ugh.
They're not going to make any new ones after this, but there are a few that have already been completed that are being allowed into the marketplace.
Oh, well.
Thank God. You know what? I'm not even going to make a
Sounds
joke.
like
I don't
Donald
wanna talk
Trump
about it.
saved that
Fuck.
game.
Here we go.
Like he saved TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll pass a bill to shut down TikTok, and then
I'll save it. I'm a hero.
And then right as it's about to be enforced,
I thought Biden
I'll
passed that
choose
bill.
not to enforce it.
Trump was the first one to propose banning it and sort of spearheaded the movement in the Republican Party, and then it became a sort of bipartisan
potato.
effort because Democrats thought it was a good idea as well. But now, no one thinks it's a good idea because the only good ideas
Yeah.
are the Donald's ideas.
So, any other hot gaming news? Avowed is coming to
there
Game
is-
Pass in April, right? That's exciting.
Oh, that's
That's
neat.
like the Skyrim one by Obsidian,
yeah.
right? I'm definitely gonna play that.
It's set in the what are the name of those games?
Pillar
It's set
Path
in
of Exile, a Pillar
Pillars
of
of
Eternity.
Eternity.
One of the two.
Pillar of
Wait, what's
Eternity.
what game is it?
Avowed is set in the Pillars of
Oh,
Eternity
that game was great.
setting.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that game. That's my most anticipated game right now.
Oh, wow.
I almost considered like getting the upgraded edition.
Yeah, I feel
But-
the same actually. Like it's a lot of the developers of classic Elder Scrolls games that we like so much, and it's
Yeah, there's been some really flattering articles about it from game journalists who have gotten to play it. They said kind of each build that they're allowed to play has just gotten better and better
That's
and
cool.
better. They're very excited about it. So, yeah, that game looks super cool.
I think
Oh, gosh.
Outer Worlds 2 got pushed back to 2026, right? I mean, which makes
Oh,
sense.
really?
Like the two big RPGs from the same company in the same year doesn't seem like
Yeah,
the
that's
best
not a
idea.
good 3-year plan.
Yeah.
Release 2 flagship games in the same year.
okay.
I had one more piece of hot gaming news.
All right.
The new Dragon Age game, what's it called? Dragon Age Veilguard, is getting an update soon, and word on the street is that it's going to basically be the last like real significant update they do for the game.
Yeah, apparently it did not sell nearly as well as previous Dragon Age
No,
games.
it did not.
Yeah, and I guess they think their resources are better spent basically like any available person working on Mass Effect 5 to push that out sooner. So
Well, I'm glad it was good. Apparently, I mean, I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting.
yeah,
Play it for the show.
I played it on my Steam Deck. I probably got like halfway through it on my Steam Deck and had to turn the graphics down a little bit. And I liked it, but I was like, it would probably play a lot better on my PC. So I
Yeah.
want to try it on my PC to see if it doesn't click.
Yeah,
a
you
little
didn't
more.
seem to love it. Like you were playing it, but you were complaining a lot about it.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't have that. What's the that Inquisition hook?
Yeah.
I think like that. The like sense that you're doing something super significant. Like it just didn't feel that way. in
Yeah,
that game.
it's a much slower start, but the third act is really fantastic. Without
Oh, that's
getting
good.
into too
Yeah, I
many
never quite made it there.
spoilers for it, big kind of Mass Effect 2 vibes, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
Oh,
Oh,
my god,
you
a
know.
Terminator baby shows up.
Okay,
All right.
I think that's it. I think that's all the hot gaming news.
We don't want to talk about how Elon Musk admitted that he's not a real gamer.
Oh, right. I think he probably is a really good gamer. And what he said was that everybody pays Asian people to boost up their levels because you can't.
Yeah,
compete
every
with those
gamer
guys.
has a significant enough income where they can pay Asian players to level their video
Right,
game
because
characters for
what
them.
he said was they're too good, so we can't compete with them, so it's only fair that we pay other people to do it for us. It's only
And
fair.
then he claimed that it was all our hard work.
Well, no, Matt, this is what's fair.
He really pulled himself up by his bootstraps and launched himself to the top
Listen,
of
he
the player rank of that game.
it wasn't. It was a Roman salute, and he was just autistic. That's why I did
Yeah.
it several times.
Autistic people do that all the time. I mean, if I could count on my hand the number of fascist symbols
no!
Johnny flashes at me.
Well, I think that's all of the hot gaming news. Are we ready to do our plugs?
Yes, I'm gonna
This
plug
feels like a... Okay.
the amazing streams that Matt has done. Although he didn't do one this week because Vanessa was busy.
Because you're working in gyms out of town, and then Vanessa declined to stream with me at the last minute.
Well, no, that is not exactly true. You were working until an hour into when we would normally start, and
It
That
was
is
37 minutes actually. I remember.
I really didn't want to stream at that point either. I was very happy when you said no because I had been working I had been working all day. My kids were here, and I was like, I just want to go sit on the couch with my children.
I remember thinking, 7 o'clock is rolling around, or 8 o'clock is rolling around. It's going to be stream time, and then nobody said anything. And then at 8:37, Vanessa goes, I don't think I'm going to stream. And then Matt goes, I'm wrapping up work right now. And I was like, I wonder where this is going to go.
I offered. And then you guys were like, do a solo stream. And I was like, I would rather blow my fucking brains out.
that is how I also felt, which is why I wasn't streaming. But let me tell you, if you're thinking there were, crowds of listeners demanding the stream and asking where it was, didn't happen. Nobody
Yeah, they
missed
did. They were in the
it.
Discord. That's not
did
true at
they?
all. You're just not in the Discord
I
where the
don't
people
go in
come
the
to talk about
Discord.
the stream.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They were asking about it. I told them sorry. It's probably not happening today.
Yeah, Discord does have hot stream hype on Wednesdays.
It's true.
Oh, you're right. And I did reinstall Discord on my phone and promptly never go there. But I'll try to work it into
if you
my
would like
routine.
If
The
you,
Discord is
listener,
fun
would like
now.
an invite to the Discord, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com,
You know,
and we'll give you one.
We could pop a link into the show notes, I think.
Yeah, or
I
you could
don't
text
know.
Matt his phone number. Let me find it here.
Please do
I
not.
don't want those scraping bots in the Discord. I sure they scrape show notes all the time, being like, "Oh, I'm gonna find those sweet Discord invites." Nom 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 nom.
We can ban anybody that's not normal. It's not human. I
I
shouldn't
was
say
gonna
normal
say,
because
if you
I don't
ban
think any of
everyone
our
who's
listeners
not
are normal.
normal, then yeah.
Or us. None of us are normal.
That's true.
All right. Anyway, we have a stream Wednesdays around 8 p.m. Eastern. We are currently playing, Jim is currently playing Kingdom Hearts 2, while Johnny and myself mostly just kind of heckle him and chat with the chat. So come and join us for that. Also, Bears and Games Neo. Bears and Games Meow.
Oh wow, you did it.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't get to finish my video this week. I'm working hard on it, but also I'm working day shifts and it's long and I'm very tired when I go home. And then I have to play a 5-hour level.
I mean, Johnny, 5-hour chunkers is pretty standard for this podcast.
I said level.
5
I
to
said
10 hours.
level.
You've been doing it for 10 years. You should be used to this by now. All right, I'll tell you what. Next game for the show, my suggestion is we play Undertale and we break it into 5 episodes.
Ooh, yeah. That's actually not a
1
bad
hour
idea.
per chunker.
Wow, that's 10 years old
pretty
this
hot.
year. That's crazy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I figured you knew that.
All right.
That's why you're suggesting it.
I've been suggesting it for years. Bears and Games Neo is Johnny's personal channel where he posts great videos about queer gaming history, as well as a series called Kubert Opens Worlds, where he reviews classic open world drivey shoot 'em uppy games. Most recently, he released an episode on Simpsons Hit and Run that was a delight and was, I think, 100 hours long.
Yeah. Yep. And there's also that Lucy Larry one. I really am almost finished it. I just gotta wrap up that edit and then double check it, post it online, make sure
What does
people
that
like
fit
it.
into? Is that history of queer gaming?
Yes, because there's
Okay.
a surprising amount of queer stuff going back through these games in these Larry games. So I will be talking about that and transphobia and homophobia in 80s and 90s games and movies and things. It's gonna be interesting.
I played a couple of those games. I mean, I don't think I ever once in my life finished a point-and-click adventure game, but I certainly played some of them. So it'll be a real nostalgia trip for me.
I mean, the ads for those Lucy Larry games are like, bet you can't play this game for more than 5 minutes without coming.
Yep, that was Teenage Matt.
Coming to Leisure to See Larry.
I never understood those ads, and let me tell you why. If you're playing a crappy adult video game, Don't you want your like motivation for playing that game to be over as soon as possible so you can play like an actual good game? So like
That makes sense.
Yeah.
if it says like you bet you can't do this, it's like why would you want to?
Well,
Why would
you know,
want
like
to last?
it's pleasure delay. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, it's called edging.
Yeah.
edging.
They play the game for a few seconds and then pause it.
Edging by playing Leisure Suit Larry. I don't know why you would want to play a game like that in the first place. Like, you know,
Press X
Don't
to
you-
penetrate.
don't you
That's
want your
so
hands
cool.
to be free for this activity? Isn't that
It's
kind of how
true.
it works?
That's why God made
Oh.
VR helmets.
Hey,
Maybe
Jim.
you're supposed to use your penis to press the buttons.
Jim. Jim.
What?
What's the best browser for gooning?
God,
Why'd you ask me that?
Microsoft Edge.
No. All right, are we ready to discuss our mission objectives?
Sure.
That's what
Yay.
this quest log is called?
Yeah.
The mission objectives?
Yeah. We did cut this one a mission short because the second mission was super fucking long. And also, Johnny is busy working right now, so it's been tough to squeeze in
Yeah.
beef time.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm
Jim
real
was out
sleepy.
of town, and we want to make sure he's able to catch up.
Yeah.
And we still want to give Vanessa the opportunity to have time to catch up, which she did promise she was going to do. So thank you, Vanessa.
I just
All right,
imagine.
mission 4, Assassins.
I just imagine Jim floating through these levels with like lightning coming out of his hands and his eyes are glowing white.
John, the reason why I didn't finish the second level was one, because it was really long, and two, I got lost because I had floated off of the level and I flew back into it and was totally lost at where I was.
That level's complicated, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Mission 4. So one note is that I've noticed that some guides label the training mission as the first mission, and some do not. So different guides have different mission numberings.
That's why the numbers are off.
Yes, the count seems a little off because I did not count that. So whatever, just so everybody's aware. So mission 4, Assassins. Having sold the horn that we stole in the last episode, Garrett decides to buy some new tools. Hey, I'm Garrett, and I'm going to buy some lockpicks.
Fortunately, I've got
You
a.
would think for such a well-seasoned thief, he would have already had these.
Yeah, I
Need
agree.
some-
But
some
you know
new
what?
lockpicks from this shopkeeper, my
He
best
offers
friend.
an in-game explanation, though. He's like, usually you can only buy if you're part of a collective, because that's who the suppliers are willing to sell to. But I'm an independent contractor, so I don't have a bulk purchase agreement, so I have to pay more for my tools, and I'm limited in who I can buy them for. But this guy has agreed to be my seller merchant.
He's like,
Yeah, I don't think this guy's your best friend.
yeah, he is. He's
You're
like,
just this-
hello, Jarrett. You're my favorite customer.
We buy some lockpicks, which means that we can do some lock picking, which I really like. And I guess we'll talk about more as we get into the level, but yay for lockpicks.
So you and your best
unfortunately-
friend, who's about to close his
Yeah,
shop and
he's-
retire, are
Yeah, he's gonna be around the rest of the game. He's like your sidekick.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
you have like an earpiece, and he tells you what to do.
yeah. Jareth, there's a sword up ahead. You just have to climb up through the ceiling.
I like how he talks about his life in between too. He's like, you know,
Yeah.
I never thought that I would be working with someone like you, but I've seen the corruption of the, hammers, and gets into how he
Yeah.
was raised with religion, and he has his family.
Yeah, he was a former Hammerite,
Mm-hmm.
and he really there's a whole lot of world building that happens.
My wife and
in
children
conversations you
are
get with
so
him.
happy that I'm working with an amazing man like you.
So as soon as the
One
mission
more
starts, an
score, and
arrow.
little Timmy can get his operation.
That's right. But unfortunately, as soon as the mission starts, an arrow flies through the window and kills your best friend. Farkas is his name, by the way. Farkas.
Yeah, something funny happened to me. Actually, two funny things happened to me when I started this level. The first time, he got murdered, and then there's a conversation that happens where these guys are like, "Well, we killed the right guy, 100%."
Yeah.
Thank God we killed Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to go.
And they go, "Are
and
you
so-
sure you killed Garrett?" And they're like, "Yes, because I looked through the window and I saw Garrett. And then I looked out of the window and got ready to shoot him because he's in there. And then I looked back in and saw someone with their back to me and no hair, and I shot him."
So initially our objective is to rob a local hammer temple just to make some money, but as soon as Farkas dies, Garrett overhears the assassins talking about how we did it, we killed Garrett. And he's like, well, time to make these fuckers pay. So we have to trail these assassins through the city, which is fun and kind of hard. Stupid metal grate.
So when I first started this mission, I was just clicking my mouse like accidentally, and I picked up a goblet, and I was like, I don't remember how to put this down, so I clicked the right mouse button again, and he threw it across the room, and I immediately failed the level because they heard me. And then the second time, I had accidentally turned on. There's a button you can put with this cheat engine thing that turns all of the enemy AI off, like totally. And so I had clicked it right as Farkas was dying, and I went outside to see why I couldn't hear that dialogue from the guards, and they were just standing there T-posing.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
So
Speaking
you
of,
do have time to clear out his inventory. You know, just because
you do have time
that's
to
what your
completely
best
rob the shit
friend
out of this store.
that's what your best friend Talbot would have loved
Farkas.
is for you to just take everything from his store.
All of his
It's
water
okay if
arrows, all of his
something
moss
happens to me,
arrows.
yeah.
So I didn't
My
realize
family will be able to live off my remaining inventory.
it was this level that taught me that the weird crystals that you pick up that don't make a money sound, make a dun, dun sound, are usable items.
those?
Those are arrows, even though they look like crystals.
Oh.
Yeah, water arrows, moss arrows, fire arrows do look like crystals, and they make like a blub blub sound when you pick them up. Chunky blub. I don't know. It's weird. It's real weird.
It kind of sounds like when you disconnect a USB device from your Windows computer.
It sounds like, we did not safely eject our hardware.
You trail these guys back to a mansion, and Garrett, talking to himself, tells us that this mansion is owned by Ramirez, like a local crime lord, and that Garrett decides he's going to teach this motherfucker a lesson by stealing the purse right off of his belt.
I mean, he doesn't have to be
And we
conscious
do.
for this. So
I left him conscious just because I felt like it was more fun. Now, every single other person in the vicinity of his mansion, I got to admit, this is for me is just the blackjack game. Like, I'm just sneaking up behind people, this is where I first learned of the activity that I know Vanessa would come to love in the future, making a pile of bodies.
Yes.
I love it.
Sleepy boys. Sometimes they snore.
I've been making piles of bodies in my games for years. I love it, and
It's the first game I can remember just piling up bodies. And they do stuff. You drop them in water and they'll drown.
I thought about dropping them in fireplaces because there's a couple of guys standing by fireplaces in the next level.
Yeah,
Or
they will
this
die, and then that. I mean, it doesn't matter. This game doesn't.
this
I mean,
game
I'm sure that
doesn't
there's
judge
like
you.
a ghost mode if you really want it, but
Did you guys, like me, accidentally turn on the alarm
Yes.
as soon as you got
Yes.
into Ramirez's
Yes.
mansion?
I quick saved before I hit the button though. I was like, let me just do a whittle savey.
It
I
is
also-
like the fanciest button I've seen in
Yeah.
this game so far. It's a big square button that has a cursive, like scripty R written on it. I was like, ooh, I wonder what this does. And then just turns on the alarm for the house.
So,
I thought
we
this was
break
going to
in.
be harder than it was because it's like they're saying about what happens if he doesn't lock his doors, then he's gonna get burgled. But it was like he's just there in the basement. He's just standing with the door open, like
I don't think I fully understand how much things I pick up are worth because I spent most of this level trying to get to 1,000 loot, which you need to like finish the level.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Yeah.
just didn't pick something up that I was supposed to because I felt like that took me a lot longer.
It took me a while. Like, I just leave the loot counter on a lot of the time to see how I'm doing.
Yeah.
But most things, like, cups are worth, like, 10 gold out of 1,000, so you gotta pick up a lot of cups.
Yeah, if you what was I gonna say? If you put this on hard or the hardest difficulty, it's like 2,000 gold that you have to loot. Like I don't know how you would do that.
You basically have to get every single lootable item in the level.
That's insane because there are like hidden cabinets behind bars and stuff that you can open. Like I don't know how you would have to just hold your mouse over every single little square
I did
of texture in
find
this
one
game.
of the bar cabinets in level 6. That was fun. I was like, ooh, some golden things.
that's the one I was referring to, and I said
There was a neat one in
I
that
found
one
this.
in a column in one of the front rooms, like
Ooh.
down at floor level. Like I just
weird.
happened to mouse over the bottom. I was like crouched up against it, and I was like, "Wait, why is this highlighting?" And then I had to lockpick it, and there was a bunch of gold in there.
So this level's where you first get the lockpicks, because that's what you get from Fauntleroy, right?
Yes, you get the lockpicks from Little Dead Fauntleroy, and so this is where you start lockpicking. It's not
this
really
is
a mini
the-
game.
It kind of
I love
is, but I think it's the
Sometimes
best.
you have to switch back and forth. You have a square toothpick and a triangle toothpick, and it'll just you just hold the button down and it does its business. And sometimes it'll stop midway, and then I got to switch to my other pick.
Oh, you're supposed to hold.
Yeah,
it
you
down?
hold it down until it stops, and then you switch to the other one. And if it doesn't
makes
move
really
at all,
satisfying,
then
like crunchy
it's a
sounds.
really good lockpick system. I would say this might be my favorite lockpick system in the game.
I mean, this and
Wow.
like
Oh.
the pickpocketing. This is the stuff that I really love in this
The
game
pickpocketing's
because it's
so
just part of
good.
the game, and isn't like rolling dice in the background to see if you succeed. Fuck you, just give me the thing.
I do like that with the pickpocketing, you can see the item that you're taking. It's not like you suddenly open up a container and it's like, here's what he has. Because that makes no sense in life.
But yeah, the pickpocketing, the lockpicking is pretty fun, and it works on most doors. Like there will be a few doors that you need a key for, like a mission specific key. But for the most part, it just means you have to sit there for longer, which means you have to be a little more careful. Now, the way I play this game, by the time I'm picking locks or opening treasure chests that are locked, there's not a single awake person in a 10-mile radius.
Now,
Because I am blackjacking the fuck out of everybody. I also have started really safe scumming. Like, I knock somebody out, I go get in a shadow and wait for a minute. Safe.
I've got a question for you. I feel like after a couple of attempts, I just stopped trying to use arrows to hurt people. But if you get a headshot with an arrow, does that one hit kill them, or do they take multiple arrows to the head?
It doesn't seem like it to me, but maybe I just, because the aim is not
the aim
super
kind of
precise,
sucks.
right? Like, well, it's intentional. Like, it's not a fucking laser pointed missile. Like, it's hard to shoot an arrow.
I just feel like it should be a
but
little
I
more
agree.
like Tenchu, which was obviously inspired by this game. And you should be able to one-hit kill guards way more easily, because they are so... like, the only one-hit thing is blackjack. Everything else is multiple hit... Or backstab.
Yeah.
You can backstab, too.
I haven't done that. I don't know. Like, what's the point? Why
You
kill
want
them?
to
Just
kill
leave them
these
sleeping in a-
jerks?
Leave them sleeping
Even
in
the
a corner.
younglings?
Even the younglings. I feel like I want to say that I remember being able to one-shot headshot people in this game, but I tried it once or twice when we first started this
Yeah, me too.
last week, and I couldn't make it work. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm mixing it up with
I
Thief
was able
2.
to one shot.
Oh,
I
really?
was able to one shot a couple people. Yeah.
But
God
don't you
mode
have,
on,
like,
where
super
one
god
shot-
death
no,
mode?
when I was
Explodes
trying to
everybody.
play it before I figured out how to completely break the game. I did one shot a couple guards.
Okay, I'll try it again. Maybe I just didn't hold it down for long enough.
Or maybe if they have helmets on, it doesn't
Ooh,
work.
they-
'cause
yeah,
the
I
Thief
thought
just
about
had
that.
Helmets.
I couldn't really figure out why it was so inconsistent. Then I thought about the helmets. I was like, maybe that's why.
The
You know,
blackjack,
Dishonored did that with-
the blackjack doesn't mind helmets. It doesn't like make a difference, which seems weird.
Yeah. Well, but I
Yeah.
think typically when you're blackjacking, then you're like hitting him in the nape of the neck or something.
No, it should. I thought
Like,
it'd
do
be
you think
like
you hit him
right
on the
there.
back of the head?
Yeah.
I don't think that would knock you out.
I don't know. Those are pretty heavy.
You got to hit him like in the spine, basically. Well,
really?
I don't know.
I think we're paralyzing them.
Yeah, I do
no.
think we're paralyzing them.
Oh.
I love in the game, or not in the game, the TV show Sledgehammer from the 80s. There's one scene where he like goes behind a guard to knock him out with his gun and like hits him with the butt of his gun to the back of his head, and the guard's just like which I think is realistic.
So there's not a lot to say about this level other than you clear out this mansion, you head down to the basement where his counting room is, and you rob this motherfucker. I like money. I like stealing.
Money,
things.
please. That's what this game should be called.
So you can knock Ramirez out, or you can just pickpocket his purse right off of him, and that ends the mission.
He's so
long as you have
grabby
1,000
for
loot.
that alarm that I really had to knock him out because
Yeah, but he's in a room full of shadows, so it's really easy to be
I
very
know.
quiet.
Yeah.
I did learn some control shortcuts that are very helpful. Like backspace clears whatever item you have,
Oh.
and you can use the F number keys to choose your items.
Oh, interesting. I knew
So
that
that's,
like shift tab
that's-
goes
yeah,
backwards.
Those aren't my number keys. Those are like they're not my F keys. They're the number keys above my like letters.
The number
What do
keys
you-
above
I don't know what
the
it's called.
number keys choose your weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
And
saying
then
choose
the
your
F keys
item.
choose your items?
So
Oh,
F4
shit, but-
will give you that triangle pick, and F5 will give you that square pick, which makes makes lock picking a lot fucking faster. And then you can backspace to put it away. Also, R is what drops items that you're holding.
John, how did you say to scroll backwards?
In shift
items?
tab through your items.
Shift.
If you tab
Oh,
through your
really?
items,
That-
it'll go
that is
forward,
fucking handy.
and shift
Yeah,
tab
that would
goes
be super
backwards.
handy. Otherwise, you have to like cycle all the way through.
Yeah,
them,
I
which
do that a
is-
lot because
well,
I use that
sucks,
compass
yeah.
a lot. The first item in your inventory is always is your compass, and with the way the maps are not like mini maps that like pinpoint your location, I often am like, I have to go north, and that's it. Like I know I need to get to the north side of this map, pull the compass out, find the door that goes north. That's how I fucking navigate this. But I like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, if you gave me the option in a modern game, I think I would probably take the mini map because it's easier. But when I'm forced to do it, I have to admit, like, I like it. I feel it makes me feel more like accomplished, I guess, when I'm able to navigate through these fucking mazes.
It is pretty satisfying when you like finally find your way to the end of the level. You're like, oh, I did it. You like use the compass, and it is pretty satisfying.
No clipped through the ceiling and laid the map out.
That's
in front
what I
of you like
did
a mini
this
map.
chunker.
You did it last chunker too. You
I
talked
did not
about
do it last chunker.
You literally
Maybe on
talked
the third
about it
level.
on the third one, yeah. All right, so
Yeah.
mission 5. Listen, I don't blame you. It sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to no clip through the walls, but I want to play it straight. 'Cause I'm
Mission
straight.
5 started
What can I
out
say?
really good and got worse and worse as I went through it.
Yeah, mission 5 is called Thieves Guild. This is the first Thief Gold bonus bonus mission. There are 3. The other 2 are kind of jammed into the story later on.
Yeah, I was reading
So-
about that today.
But
Like,
this one is
like
just
I guess in the original release, to get this item that you're supposed to get, like in later missions,
there's
you have
4
to do,
items
like,
you have
choose-
to get.
Yeah, but you get them in 2 levels, I think,
Yeah.
in the original release, and they expanded it to 4 levels.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great. Oh, the plot's not going to advance for 4 fucking levels.
Got to get those MacGuffins.
Yeah.
Gotta get the McMuffins.
All right, so this is a long-ass level, but the short version is that the local Thieves Guild has stolen a jeweled scepter, which isn't that what we stole in the first mission?
It was a
Anyway,
it was a vase.
we wanna
It was a vase.
Oh, that's right.
A sapphire vase.
This is a vase, or it was a vase in the first mission?
No, it was a
The
scepter in
first
that
mission
first
was
mission.
a scepter.
So this is a vase. I wrote
Uriel
scepter. Oh,
Septim.
well. So the
I
local
have a
Thieves
question
Guild
about
has
the
stolen.
sapphire vase.
Oh yeah.
Is it a vase made of sapphire completely, like carved from a giant sapphire? Is it
That
a
was my
vase?
I think
that
would
is,
it be
like,
hard to carve?
encrusted? Yeah. Or is it like
Yeah, that's why it's
encrusted
so
with
cool.
sapphires, or is it just sapphire colored, like it's just a normal vase and someone painted
Oh,
it?
good question.
Let's pull up a picture of the vase in question.
Good question. Good idea.
Sapphire vase. Images.
Lord Randall Sapphire Vase.
I'm going to share this with the group. My downloads. Listeners, just hang on for us.
The wiki entry doesn't say.
I'm looking at it though. It looks like it is carved from a sapphire or made of a sapphire colored glass with a gold base and a gold rim that have been added to it.
Oh,
I think it looks like it's carved from a sapphire.
that's what it looks like to me too.
Yeah.
It's got like a maybe that's a graph. It's got kind of a polygonal look to it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have like sapphires on it.
Yeah.
So we want to steal this vase from this local thieves guild because they got to it first and we wanted it. So we have to get into their lair through a casino that they run, like an illicit casino. And then from there, we have to head into the sewers. We learn, which this is kind of tough because the game does not tell you this. You have to listen in on conversations or find notes. But we find out that so this guild, this thieves guild, is called the Downwinders, and they have two leaders, Reuben and Donald. Donald has locked the vase away in his safe in his mansion, but Reuben has stolen the key.
It's
the
the
safe and
safest
hidden it
place,
in
the greatest
his
mansion of all time. No one is going to be able to get this vase.
Yeah, well, much like I assume Donald Trump's mansion, both of these mansions have entrances leading from the sewer. So basically, the short version is we have to make our way into the sewer. We rob this casino. We make our way into the sewers. We find the key to Reuben's house. Then we break into Reuben's house and find the key to the safe. Then we head to Donald's mansion. And then we get the vase.
So,
Vase.
this level took me, in terms of recorded
Fuck
playtime,
an hour and a half.
an hour and 45 minutes. And I mean, I would think I got really lost. I missed a turn to get to Donald's mansion because I got to the area before the actual mansion where like there's some guards looking through windows and stuff, and I knocked everybody out. Everybody. Like there's a lot of women going around and a lot of like jacks or whatever you call those guys, like the servant-y guys, and they all got blackjacked. All of them. I spent 2 minutes yakety-saxing behind a lady trying to blackjack her while she was looking for guards.
Yeah, at the end of this mission, you have to... So this is the first, I think, mission where it makes you leave, even if you're playing on normal difficulty. It doesn't just end the mission. And when I got back up to the casino, I looked around and I was like, oh, yeah, there's no guards left. So I just walked out.
Sweetie.
And all the patrons
Matt,
were
sweetie.
like, guards!
There's a door. There's a
Nobody
door.
cared.
There's a door out of Donald's mansion. You didn't have to go all the way back.
There's a door out?
Yep. Okay. Here's the thing: is it goes to the. I found it before finding the vase or vase. There's a little court. If you have the outdoor key, you can open up the front door, and there's a little courtyard, and then just a weird-looking wooden wall. And there's nothing there, but I was like, I bet if you go to that stupid wooden wall in the level. And it did.
Wow.
Is it just one door, or is it? I found this weird. As I was clipping through the walls in this level, trying to figure out where to go. I clipped through a wall, and there was like this little mini hallway between two walls that you could go down. And it went to some other area. I didn't know I didn't know the context of the area because I'd kind of given up and just kind of freely floating around the level at this point. But and then when I went back into the room where I started, I turned the collisions back on, and I swiped at like a big hammer mural on the wall, and it opened up the secret door.
It wasn't through it was through like there's a room like full of pillars with a super loud tile. I think it's like a checkered tile floor that there's always guards like circulating through, and there's also guards in the balcony above. And it's right next to that room's the door out of the mansion.
Oh yeah.
But this is where I really started using the fire arrows and the moss arrows. Like Matt had recommended I use the moss arrows for tailing the guys because you really need that. Like in that level 4, there's one point where you go across a steel grate bridge. So if you do not have the moss arrows, they will hear you instantly. The moss arrows don't work the way I thought they would work. I thought they'd just make like a big moss puddle. But it makes
that's what I
a
thought.
moss volcano that shoots moss around it.
I love the moss volcano. It's just plopping moss out. But it seems it's not super clear how much area it covers, but it seems like
It's quite a bit.
One arrow on the grate covers it. Like you're fine.
Yeah. You only need one arrow on that
You
grate.
don't have to do that. You can. There's like it's a bridge. It's like a metal.
Oh yeah, there's water.
Bridge,
You
and
could
you
probably
can just
cross.
climb up on the. Well, you can just climb up on the railing and walk across that instead of the grate.
What I thought the moss arrows were doing at first when I first tried to use one was I was like, there's no like moss blob, like moss patch I'm going to be able to walk in. So I wonder how this works. And I walk through it and I look behind me and what you guys are saying is a volcano, I thought was like my moss footsteps. And I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. You just step in a bunch of moss and now your feet have moss on them for like a minute. But
it's not a bad idea.
That kind of happens in that final cutscene with the rad music that Matt was telling us to watch.
Yeah, the weird like plants growing around. I assumed that was just like spilled moss arrow tonic or whatever.
I don't know.
No, that ties into what we saw in Mission 7.
7. We haven't played 7 yet.
Sorry,
We haven't.
6. What we saw.
Yeah, I that's what I thought too, Matt. I was guessing that this weird plant stuff has something. But let's. So I just want to emphasize. I just want to finish up level 5 first, or 6. Level 6. No, 5.
No, this is 5.
Yeah, like those. So yeah, you really have two. You can tell, like looking back now, you can tell this is DLC because they really maximize the size of this level. There's 2 full mansions, and they aren't as big as mansions in level 4 or 6, but they're pretty big. Each with their own guard paths, and then there's just a whole bunch of sewers with like machines that open and close pressure doors. Although you can open any pressure door from the inside. There's one room I never met. I wanted to blackjack pretty much every guard I saw in the game, but there's one room where the guards are in this like circular arrow parapet thing, and I never figured out a way to get in there without being seen. I did start using mines.
You know what's funny?
You can use those noisemaker arrows to lead people off too. Yeah.
When I turned I went into one of those rooms that like had the machines in it, and there's a room behind one of the machines where there's like 4 guards in this one little room, and there's not even much in the room, and there's like 4 guards in it. And when I turned the enemy AI off and reloaded the level, they were all like mid swing their swords. Like, they were all like S shaped and like all weird looking.
I've been.
There is one. Go ahead.
I don't remember. Hold on. You go. I'll.
There is one. In order to get into the second mansion, you have to like hit the lever on a machine, and finding this machine was such a fucking pain in the ass. Eventually, I realized you have to swim through some tunnels to get into this one room that it's the only way to open the door. Like, can you imagine having to get into your house this?
I never did, man. I never did that. I just used the key.
There's a tunnel that's got a locked door on it. It's not like a metal door that you have to open with the lever. Maybe there's another way in that I didn't find.
Oh, wait, was this into the Donald's place?
Yeah, there's like 47 and 48, and you have
to okay, so
47.
I'm actually yes, I did use that. There's another way in there.
Grates.
I did use that, but I'd already got in another way. There's a back door, basically.
Yeah, I never found the back door.
That's the area where I blackjacked everybody in. But I didn't notice there's a little path up to the mansion through there. But yeah, basically
it's fun for me. Like This game is just moving from one guard to the next and knocking them out. Like, that's my path through the game, is where's the next guard? I'm going to sneak up on this guy and knock him out. All right, where's the next guard?
I'm glad that Matt...
How big some of these levels get. Because, like, Matt, how far are we through the game?
Half? There's 12 levels?
Mission 6, there's 14, I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So do you imagine levels getting a lot bigger than this? Like a lot bigger?
I don't know, because this is DLC, and so you have to assume I assume that this was them like making a big fucking level.
That's
you know
what I
mean?
think too.
Now, so people could like really get their thief on.
Mission 7, which we didn't do this week, which I think I already mentioned. That we didn't finish. We didn't finish our chunker. But Mission 7, you have to like go through a bit of this city first, and then you have to go to a cathedral. So I don't know how big that one is. I bet it's pretty big.
I bet it's huge. Yeah.
But 6 is short, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there's at least a couple more big fucking levels.
Yeah.
But I imagine that it's not going to be every single level is a huge ordeal like this one.
I'm glad that the last episode Matt told us to cut tapestries, because I think I would have got really frustrated. I probably would have figured out, because there's a bunch of clues that the banner room has something special in it at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been slashing at every tapestry to good effect. I got a lot of extra like jewels and things. But thanks for that pro tip, Matt. It really helped me out.
I also like how there are valuables just scattered in like weird places.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you see a bedroom, go look on the other side of the bed.
And
Somebody's probably dropped a diamond.
And the super high shelves that are in some bedrooms, like you have to jump to grab whatever's on those.
Yeah, if there's crates on the floor, you can pick those up and jump on them, and that typically means like look in the higher shelves.
And
one little bit of cool item placement that I liked is sometimes in front of fireplaces you'll find like plates and goblets and food. Like someone was just sitting in front of the fire, just having a real cozy time, and just left their stuff there.
Sometimes you'll find valuable bottles of wine in the bathtubs.
Yeah.
Oh, is the wine a valuable too? I haven't been picking those up.
Yeah, it is. I didn't think
some
it was
of them are. If they have gold on them, they're valuable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
That's
wacky.
Yeah, I was like, I had skipped some of these and went back and grabbed some in the last level.
The wacky scare house next level had fireplaces with secret passages inside them. That was pretty fun.
There's
cool.
one of those in Ramirez's house as well, I want to say. The problem with them is that you have to use 2 water arrows, right? You have to put out 2 fires. Usually both sides will be lit, and that's fucking annoying. But yeah, it's very much a game of, it's a game of exploration, and you definitely can just kind of zip through these levels and collect some treasure. But if you really, and with the way that we, have to play this a certain amount per week, it's not very conducive to really digging in and really exploring. But if you want to, it is the type of game that you can spend just hours going through and finding shit. So, anywho, we steal the vase and we escape, and that takes us to Mission 6, the Sword. Mm-hmm. Garrett is contacted by a woman named Victoria, who has a client that wants him to steal a magic sword
No, we
from a
gotta
man
talk about
named
this,
Constantine.
She looks like a Matt girlfriend.
She does.
Man.
The moment Victoria popped up, I was like, okay, these guys they definitely were sitting around being like, Denise Richards would play Victoria in the movie of Thieves.
I don't know where you get that. She doesn't look anything like Denise Richards to me.
Because
I don't get Denise
not
Richards
period
vibes
of
from
it.
her.
I don't think she looks like Denise Richards, but I'm just using that as a stand-in for the ideal 1998 woman.
Oh, Denise Richards.
Who was the it girl in 1998?
Denise Richards.
Jennifer
Remember Wild
Was it
Things?
Denise Richards?
Who was the it girl in
So Denise Richards, Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Parker Posey,
Jennifer
Winona
Aniston?
Ryder.
Was that primetime Jennifer Aniston
that was primetime
time?
Jennifer Aniston time.
Hollywood it girls through the years. Wow, there's
Maybe
a whole article.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That's definitely not going to give you a virus or something.
It's
That's definitely not you're not gonna install
cosmopolitanmagazine.com.
adware.
I'm gonna find out by looking up 1998 MTV Movie Awards.
See, I don't know why. I wouldn't think it would be a musician like Gwen Stefani. I would think it would be like
I feel like Gwen Stefani didn't become like kind of iconic till like the aughts.
93 was
Nev
Whoopi Goldberg.
Campbell. Nev Campbell and Heather Graham were both super active right there.
Okay.
Sarah Michelle Gellar in 97. This has Lauryn Hill in 98.
Gwyneth Paltrow is
Britney
what this
Spears
website
in
says.
99. All right. Anyway, hot ass Victoria has a client that wants us to steal a magic sword from a man named Constantine. We have to break into his manor and steal this magic sword. It tells us a little bit about it, like Constantine's a new face in the city. Nobody knows much about him. I had to make my own map. Garrett had to make his own map from like observing from the outside because it's a newly constructed building, so he doesn't really have any info.
He's
So your
like,
map
the
isn't
richer
great.
you are, you can make your houses as much
The
of a
weirder
maze.
you can make your
Yeah.
house or whatever.
And
Well,
he
so we
makes
talked
it
about
weird.
the hammers, and if you pay attention to some of the notes and stuff that you find, you'll have found mentions of kind of an opposite group to the hammers called the pagans, who deal in like nature magic.
They sound way
Yeah,
more
I
fun
was-
and way more cool than the Hammers.
They sound way more fun and way more cool, and maybe a little evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the opposing ideologies in this game. Like I was reading about it today. So you have like the Hammerites who worship the Mechanist, and then there's the pagans who worship like somebody else, right?
The hammers worship the
No,
maker.
they,
The,
the
mechanists
builder.
show
The
up in the builder. The mechanists show up
Yeah.
in Thief 2 as like a splinter group from the
Oh,
hammers
okay.
because
Okay,
the
that's
hammers
where I
don't
got
believe that you
confused.
should be able to like make machines or some shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
And
how we
then
get
there's- and then
steampunky
there's
robots
these
in Thief
pagan
2.
dudes. Yeah. And then there's these pagan
And then
dudes
there's
who
these
worship something
pagan
different,
dudes who
right?
are kind of demonic-y and
I'm guessing you can't
weird.
blackjack a
I guess it's not
steampunk
gonna
robot.
be. I don't think so. I guess they're not going to show up in this game. Maybe they will later. But I remember that and maybe it's Thief 2. There are some like rat dudes that are just fucking creepy. And you'll hear them you'll hear their little fucking voices echoing down hallways, and they're like this. I'm going to eat the flesh.
I mean, some guards almost they sound like that, but pitched down lower, so it's like eat the flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, some
fucking
of
love
them,
the
like
guards.
I was like, I wonder what this performer was doing.
I love the guards in this game. That deep rumbly voice. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna go to the bear meeting show tonight. Oh,
I
the
don't
bear
know
meeting's
why
not
I'm the
any
one who
good
has to
anymore.
patrol.
It was Ramirez's mansion. I forgot to mention that he has a pit where he keeps some burricks.
Yeah.
Burricks, whatever they're
Yeah.
called. And you can hear an argument between guards where one of them's like, Ramirez wants you to go today, and you're going to start. Now you're in charge of the Burricks, and he's like, the other one, I'm not going to do that. I'll quit.
I
The most
figured
random
this was.
shit.
I figured this was going to open, like I was going to find some hidden passageway here because there's a document you can find in that mansion that says,
Yes.
oh, the biggest threat to your count room is Burak tunneling. And so I was, there's going to be a tunnel down there. And I
did the same
didn't find
thing.
it.
It was a
I couldn't
red
find one either.
herring, and you just get shot with burp
Guess
gas.
so.
You just get shot with burp gas. These things are so
Yep.
those things are so easy to avoid. It's like a joke.
I know, but if you
It's the
stand
slowest
still for
moving
too long,
projectile
they
I've
will
ever
burp
seen.
at you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
this level rocks.
This level fucking kicks ass. It is capital C creepy. First of all, you have to break into the manor. Now, Johnny and I did it the same way. I'm sure there's other ways, but there's a balcony with some wooden beams, and you can shoot your rope arrow at it. We haven't talked about the rope arrow much. It's fun. I like that you can collect it and get it back. It's like the old school animation. Like you can tell that it's supposed to be like a rope slowly unfurling, but instead it just looks like it's growing.
Yeah, it looks like those little tentacle things on the roof, the barnacles in Half-Life. Their little barnacle stem that falls
okay.
down. It animates
Yeah,
just like
but
that.
you can-
Okay.
you can hop on and climb up your little rope arrows. You can get into this balcony, but then there's not really any way to access the second floor of the mansion. Then you have to head down to the first floor. The first floor is a pretty normal thief level, except it's a fucking pain in the ass. Oh my God. This entire fucking mansion is all tile floors. And that's like the tile floors and metal grates. Man, they hear you from a mile away if you take one step on a fucking tile floor. It is so annoying.
But it's a tile floor that does have 90s carpeting in the middle sometimes. So I really like that 90s airport carpeting. It's pretty jazzy and contemporary.
I had to use
That's pretty cool with like all the triangles and the lines across the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So complicated.
I had to use some moss arrows to get around here without getting caught. This isn't new to this level, but there are like electric lights in this game as well as torches.
Yes.
They seem to use both.
The covered
I find
lights.
that kind of annoying. Like, I would like to be able to turn those off, please. Like, why are there some areas that I can't make dark?
Yeah, there should be like a tar arrow that splatters them so it covers up the glass.
Like a Lydia
Or you should be able to find
Tar
a fucking
arrow?
light switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Lydia Tar area.
Like a Lydia tar arrow. So
Very mean
I
to its performers.
ended up
It's an
in
Oscar-worthy movie made out of it anyway.
there is a garden, and the garden's a little out of control and creepy. I love the sound effects in the garden. It's like sounds like
what floor
monkeys.
is that on?
It's in there's one on the ground floor that includes a bunch of waterways and flower beds, but also like an uncontrolled area.
Right.
But it grows up to the fourth floor and starts. See, the first floor is like normal rooms, like you got your study, and you got your dining room and your kitchen.
There's
the
a
second
kitchen.
The second floor is like your upside down Jareth hallway, your
Euclidean geometry.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. And there's like a little girl always laughing just out of view, which is creepy as fuck. I did ask Johnny before we started recording how he got up to the second floor, because I found a trap door in the ceiling of the kitchen that I was able to shoot a rope arrow through and climb up to the second floor. But boy, once you get up there, suddenly Johnny's describing it like the garden is overgrown. I don't think that's what's going on here. Like, there are long earthen tunnels throughout this second floor.
It breaks through the non-Euclidean geometry in a really fun way that connect. Like, so you can basically the top level of the house is different rooms that are separated by question mark, like weird being John Malkovich tunnels and earthen mounds. And I love this. This is really good level design. It's really creepy and weird.
Sometimes you'll walk into a room and it'll just be sideways with like the table on the wall or on the ceiling. It'll just be a fucking upside down, and you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Like the blue chests are like on the ceiling.
Yes.
I also ran into one of those flamehead guys, I think, in this level somewhere.
Heads.
Yeah, those are apparently something that was added to Thief Gold. Those were not in the original.
Oh, is that the thing that shoots
their
the head?
flaming head at you.
Yeah. The Doom enemy. It's really
There was
silly.
one room that did like cross shooting, and it reminded me of like in 5th grade we had computers. And it had some game on it that was like edutainment, the island of something or something, and I could never get past this room where it had like cross spitting things, and you had to like walk across the tile room. I bet I could do it now. Man, I gotta find out what game that was so I can defeat it.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, that's like an itch you got to scratch now.
Yeah.
I started thinking about it.
The rooms that have they're like faces on the wall that shoot like energy projectiles, but they'll do like 3 and then stop. So you can. It's pretty easy to get around.
And if you're crouching, it generally goes over your head anyways.
That's true. Yeah, I'm always crouching, obviously, because I'm quiet, and so I did have a whole bunch of energy projectiles just sail over my head, and I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it gets really weird. It's very maze-like, but it all leads up. It's not exactly hard to figure out, but it's cool and creepy. And eventually, you come across this sword. It's in a room. It is just suspended in midair, floating above the floor, surrounded by a bunch of floating rings. I don't really know how Johnny got it. I kind of fucked it up where I saw it, and there were like a bunch of guards around, and I was like, I've had enough of this, and I just jumped out and grabbed it and then ran away. See ya!
I will say I'm a little disappointed in this level. I started using the mines. I thought the mines would be an area of effect, kill multiple guards thing, but it shoots out a little fire magic ball that just kills one guard. It doesn't explode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never
I like
used them.
I like the flashbangs.
Oh,
the
yeah, they
flashbangs
look
are
like
helpful.
weird eyeballs with a camera.
Yeah, I didn't realize what I was picking up at first. And then I looked at my inventory, there was a flash bomb, and I was like, ooh, this is cool.
It'll blind them, and then that makes them very easy to blackjack. Basically, like, if you don't mind, like, I kind of said this when we first started playing this game. Like, you can't really play this like Dishonored, where it's like, I'm going to ghost it, and nobody's ever going to see me or hear me. Like, you have to be willing to, like, get a little caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of have to initiate conflict.
Yeah.
So, Matt, I went up to the floor above the sword where you can go. Basically, you kind of have to like jump down into the sword thing. At that point, the remaining guards there did see me. There's Shy Guys. There's not usually Shy Guys on my Game & Watch. It's Mario 1, but they have some Shy Guys from Mario 2. Anyway. So these guys, I just either blackjacked or snuck around. It was funny that top level around the sword, around the top entrance to that sword circle thing. There's just 3 guards like following each other in a row. They're walking around like a JRPG party. So you just have to kind of avoid them. At that point, I just ran, jumped on, grabbed the sword, and then ran the heck out of that mansion, which, like they were following me, but at that point, I could outrun, since I'm not trying to be stealthy anymore, it's a lot easier to outrun people.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like you're supposed to get this sword, and you guys were talking earlier, I think before we started recording, about how you had to go down from the top to get this sword. And I was watching, as I was looking for gameplay videos of this, because I wasn't able to finish it, I saw there was a GDQ speedrun of this game that somebody did. So like I fast forwarded and watched this level play out, and you can actually go at it from the bottom and just like you can vault on a lot of your potions if you throw them on the floor. And it gives you a couple feet of height. And someone just vaulted up some potions and jumped and grabbed the sword from the bottom.
There's a
from the very
box you
bottom
can grab
level of
too in the corner of that room to get some height.
You can just jump on those rings that are floating around the sword. Anyway, so that's it. We grab the sword and we get the fuck out of there. Now, we're not going to do Mission 7, but the intro to Mission 7 felt like a good stopping point for us because it kind of kicks off the next big plot point of the game. So Mission 7 intro, Victoria knocks on the door. She is very creepy. And Garrett is like quietly pulling his knife out like he's going to have to murder this broad. She's like, Garrett, come with me.
Mm-hmm. It was so weird.
It's creepy, man. And she takes you to meet her client, and her client is
Dun dun dun.
Constantine. That's right.
He's like, hey, my house, pretty cool. Did you see that I put the blue boxes on the ceiling?
Yeah. Turns out you were a white hat thief all along. Oh man, I'd love to be a white hat thief, wouldn't you? Like, how cool of a job would that be? Like, someone gets a new home alarm system, and they're like, I need you to come rob me to test my alarm system. That's like
a real life escape room, kind of like reverse escape room.
Yeah, reverse escape room.
Yeah.
Isn't every room that you're not allowed in a reverse escape room?
Yes.
So Constantine was the real client, and this was a test. He offers Garrett 100,000 gold to steal a gemstone called the Eye.
Gemstone?
A gemstone. I have no idea how much money is worth in this world, so I feel like I don't have any kind of references to how much 100,000 gold would be.
Well, you're only getting like 1,000 per level.
Yeah.
So he's giving you like 100 levels worth of gold.
Yeah. So it's like
water arrows cost 50 gold. Broadheads cost 50.
Yeah, stuff is expensive.
It is expensive.
It is.
So he doesn't seem to
mind use the money for anything else. So
that I did kill some of his guards, He seems okay
Yeah,
with
I
it.
don't think he cares.
You know,
I mean,
really-
did you get the impression from that man's house that he's like on the side of good necessarily? With
No.
the
Yeah.
baby fucking
You know-
laughter and the upside down rooms.
On the
You know,
hard
thinking about it, I bet 100,000 is a lot because he's barely. There's almost no profit in this thieving business for
Yeah.
him because what money he gets from one level he has to spend to do the next level. So there's not a lot of like bottom line profit in it for Garrett.
So I wasn't
Well,
sure
he had to
it
sell
did.
off that horn to pay his rent, so that was who knows
Did-
what that was worth.
That was like some priceless horn.
Did
on
Gareth
hard
get
difficulty,
knocked
it does
out?
Tell you not to kill any guards.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did Gareth get knocked out when the lady... I wasn't sure what happened because I was like, did he wake up in that chair or is that just much later and they're
No,
talking?
I don't think
he's
so.
in like a really weird sitting position in this.
Yeah.
He's in
Like,
a
he's, like,
weird sitting
slumped down.
position.
And the
I don't
carpet
think
has
so.
that...
She says, "Come with me." I think he left with her.
Yeah, cause so that
That's what I
carpet
assumed.
that
like maybe he's just like being so casual like when people like turn their chairs around and sit down. He's just trying to be like really cool and
He's doing the
relaxed.
Riker. He's stepping over the chair to sit down.
that
Yes.
90s airport carpet that I was talking about in the hallways, that comes back and it seems like a plot point because that's like the chair is on that carpet. So he's obviously back, I guess, in that mansion. But the carpet has vines in the print, and I really like this.
good
The
eye.
vines started growing
They
onto
were
his
moving.
feet.
Yeah.
And that was like,
Yeah,
interesting.
And they're like going up the leg of the chair a little bit.
yeah. And
So,
also he's dripping, or Constantine is dripping ichor that starts growing moss.
No,
I
that's
was wondering what was going on. Like, where's that coming from? I think
Was that
maybe
from
I
the
might have
drink
looked
they
away
gave
for a
him?
second. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. He did like pour him some wine, and there were like some drops that fell out, but I don't remember them growing.
Yeah, they
vines.
grow
Yeah, they
for sure.
started to like grow stuff out of them at the end of the.
Uh-oh.
cutscene.
Is this bad news for Jarabith?
Is he gonna be a plant man?
for Garrett?
So the eye is located in a closed off, like a walled off section of the city that is said to be haunted. Have you guys noticed that every other level is said to be haunted in this game?
It would be cool if you were actually drinking like a plant tonic and you could squirt your own moss arrows out.
Oh.
That's how they make moss arrows.
Yeah.
Moss arrows is just plant man poo. So anyway, Constantine does tell us to keep the sword that we stole. He says that we might need it. And Garrett is like, I don't see how I can say no to this. It's so much fucking money.
Yeah. He like immediately says yes. He's like, I have this another pretty cool mission for you.
I wanna buy another castle.
100,000, and your immediate response is, guess I have to say yes.
Fuck yeah. I believe the answer is fuck yes. Thank you. All right, next time we're going to play through missions 6 through 10. If that ends up
7,
being too long, because
8,
I'm
9,
not sure. Well,
Not 6. We just finished
you're
6.
Right. 7.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10. If it
Yeah.
is too long, we'll cut it at 9. We'll see. I'll
Yeah.
play it more this
We'll
weekend
play it by
and
ear.
have a better idea of how long. I started mission 7. It does start you off like in this walled off section of the city, and you have to find your way to the cathedral. So that feels like it's probably going to be a pretty chunky. It's not too maze like. It's just a fucking city, but
And since it's a city, you can walk around like a normal person. You don't have to be creeping around sidewalks.
no,
right?
there's a shitload of zombies. So.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, that's what he says in the. I watched the next cutscene, and he's like, we got to go to this abandoned part of town that word on the street is chock full of zombies.
Yeah. Zombies and other creepy stuff. Get ready for some new
Yeah.
creepy enemies here. And, yep, hopefully the cathedral itself isn't too big. But that's it. That is it for this week. Johnny, are you roundly for or squarely against this chunker?
I
Is
am.
that the question we ask? Is that how
Yeah.
it works?
I'm roundly for map 6. That was really good level design. I liked that it was story driven, but I also am roundly for the use of sound as a gameplay mechanic, like the different surfaces. Like stuff like Splinter Cell and Dishonored do have different surfaces that make more or less noise, but I find this game really emphasizes it as a gameplay thing in a way that I haven't seen in later stealth games, and I actually quite enjoy it, even if it can be like step on a tile at normal walking speed and everyone, as Matt said, everyone will hear you. But I still think it's a cool
Even
mechanic.
Crouched and creeping, they will still fucking hear you. That annoys me. Now, thankfully, you can kind of hop between the carpets and use moss arrows, but it can be annoying.
How many moss arrows are you like? How often are you using these moss
Well, you
arrows?
find a lot of
They're
them.
expensive.
You find them. You can find them all over the place.
Yeah, it's really confusing how to understand what items you're picking up.
Their colors: green is a moss arrow, blue is a water arrow.
Oh, I thought the greens and the blue ones looked similar.
You also typically will find
confusing.
water arrows around water and moss arrows around grass.
And they're not arrows; they're like fucking crystals.
Yeah, they are like crystals. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. Well, as for me, I am roundly for Mission 6 here, particularly the level design of this mansion. It has a real Alice in Wonderland feel, like where it just starts getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and suddenly you're in upside-down rooms, and there are flaming heads shooting at you, and it's wild. And I legitimately was creeped out to the point that by the end of the mission, I was like, I want out of here, and just grabbed that sword and fucking ran. But it's great level design. It's very well done. And yeah. I also want to have a little mini roundly for the blackjack. Not a lot of games have like a physical walk up behind somebody. I guess typically it's like a choke out, right? Dishonored was the choke out.
Yeah, usually there's different animations in the game when you're knocking somebody out.
I like the blackjack. Just walk up behind somebody and smack them in the back of the fucking head. It's just a goddamn delight. Jim?
Roundly 4. I thought the levels got I think that big one was super duper confusing.
Yeah.
But it's fun going around and seeing what's in these different rooms. And I do think the guard dialogue is really, it's super duper silly.
It is. It is very satisfying to find like a hidden compartment that has treasure in it. Like that is the most fucking like, oh, I'm so fucking smart. I just made some money.
And like, there's one area in that 6th level or 5th level where to open a door you need to hit one of those roulette tables.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
And it opened up a door. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I also just kind of randomly saw that I could hit it, and it's like, hey, there's a door there.
Yeah, it's fun.
The beginning of that casino was kind of a pain in the ass, though. Like, there are guards everywhere. That's like I said, that's becomes my like gameplay run. Is like, find the first guard you can knock out, and now move on to the next one you can knock out. Just leave a trail
Also,
of fucking bodies.
I'm super interested in what this Constantine guy's up to. I want to know what this guy's deal is.
Yeah,
definitely
this
a good
stuff
guy.
is where it gets weird and creepy. Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
what are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for the moss arrows. I just think they're neat.
I wonder how they work.
I think that
Pagan
they
magic.
are. Yeah, I mean they're definitely
they're
the most
magic.
magical. Because like a flame arrow, I know how that
Yeah.
works. A water arrow, it's just wet. It's got like a cloth on it, and you get it wet, and then it's just like.
I think it's a
salty
water
arrow.
balloon.
Yeah.
I think it's just a water
That's what
balloon.
I was kind of
Oh,
thinking.
yeah.
It was like a water balloon.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the fire arrow is like a rag that's on fire, but the moss arrow, I mean, it could be like a little vial of compacted moss that folds out when you shoot it, but I don't even know how that would work. And wouldn't the vial breaking make a noise?
It does drop like a little cow patty-sized piece of moss when it hits
does.
the ground, which really, and then that starts spurting moss out.
Yeah, and you're like, that doesn't seem like it's going to be big enough
Yeah.
to work.
It's very silly.
I thought at first you had to like jump onto the little cow patty, and that was the only way to get across
That's
it.
what I thought too.
But yeah, moss arrows. I haven't seen a lot of things like them in other games, so I appreciate them.
What about your favorite new Thieves Guild name, the Windbreakers? The
Oh yeah,
Breakwinders?
I did
What are they
like.
called?
They're the Downwinders, and I
Downwinders.
was wondering if that is because they like to, stand downwind, as it were, of particular bodily functions.
Why would you want to stand downwind?
Oh,
of
I thought
that?
that they
Some
used
people are
farts as
into
like
it.
an attack tactic, like so they like fart
No,
upwind of
because
you.
then they'd be upwinders because they'd
Oh,
be
you're
the ones,
right.
you know, upwind. The
But
downwinders.
they're farting downwind.
No, they're downwind of the fart because they like it.
All right. Well, that is it for the mission objectives. And now it is time for everybody's favorite segment of the show. That's right. It's time to talk about how we leveled up. Who wants to go first? I got nothing.
I'll go first.
Nothing. Okay.
I played a couple of more games on my favorite gaming platform, Netflix. I played Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2. Oxenfree.
How are you playing these games? Are you like using a controller?
Nope, I'm using my iPad.
Oh, you're playing them on your iPad. I see them on TV, and I'm like, how does anybody play these?
Yeah.
I bet
when
you
they're on
use your
TV?
fucking remote to play them if they're on your TV.
Well,
don't know, 'cause
I think you can also
with the
hook up
iPad,
a
it just
Bluetooth
downloads
controller.
The game.
Yeah, the iPad just downloads the game. It's basically like Game Pass
Oh.
for the
Okay.
App
Store.
So
Oh,
you go through-
maybe like if I click on it on the TV, it will like send a thing to my phone, or it will be like download this on.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
on
sure
your
if it
phone,
has like a
maybe.
way
I
to
don't
play
know.
it on there. But I mean,
But I was like, I have Google TV, and the Google TV has like 4 buttons on it.
yeah,
I was like, how am I going to play a video game with this? It's not
Well,
like a real remote.
you might be able to because I think they're all basically mobile games or App Store games. So as long as you have something
Yeah.
that could simulate touching, which a remote can
Yeah,
do.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Maybe it just tries to open it on my
Yeah.
phone or something.
But I liked Oxenfree a lot. It is sort of a horror game, like a horror mystery thriller, and it's one of its main mechanics really is about dialogue trees, but it's done in a kind of unusual way. It has like a timer, which is not the most unusual thing. You know, like you have your option bubbles pop up and you only have a certain amount of time to pick which one you want to say. But it sort of overlaps other conversations sometimes. So if someone is saying something, you can pick a response and kind of cut them off and say something, which is pretty natural feeling as to how conversation actually works. And the first one's about teenagers. It has kind of big Until
Ew.
Dawn vibes. And the second one is about slightly older people. And I didn't like it quite as much. But
Yeah,
You can
I
relate
thought
to somebody
the
that's not your age
as a very young person.
as a
Yeah,
teen.
exactly.
Yeah, as a teen yourself.
As a cool young teen.
Like, I don't want to play games about these old
I know, I
freaks.
can't relate to it. She's like, I went off and left home, and then I came back, and I'm like, what do you mean left home? Like, weren't your parents, like, in a panic looking for you?
I feel like Oxenfree is one of the few games I played where it's like, oh, is it over already? Like, it just felt like it ended so fast.
Yeah, it does. And that may be because, spoilers, you can play it more than once and have a slightly different experience.
Okay.
So, I would recommend those. I also have been watching my second favorite game show, The Traitors.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, that's back. I forgot.
That's right. Traitors Celebrity is back. That's the American version, which is hosted by Alan Cumming. Once again, his outfits and general vibe is the best part of that show. And it's going along okay, I would say. There's no one who I really knew on the show before. Boston Rob is there, who's like a big kind of survivor celebrity. And then there's a guy from Matt's favorite darling, The Challenge. What's that guy's name? He's like a red-headed guy with a beard.
Oh, Wes is on this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wes, and he's like, I'm the best challenger that ever did challenge. And Boston
Oh,
Rob's
he's
like,
so
I'm
fucking
the
full of
king of
himself, it's
Survivor.
obnoxious.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, so it's it has like a few guys who are like very big into their own egos, and it's a frustrating show though because it's really an impossible game to play at first because they start with too many people. So they start with like 20 people or something, and they're playing one night werewolf, more or less. Like that's what Traders is. It's one night werewolf. You're sitting around a table trying to figure out who the werewolf is, but
Yeah.
it's the trader. They don't get any clues or anything like that, so they just kind of have to go based on vibes or like how they're feeling. And then, so in the starts, it's like basically impossible to get a trader. As it goes on, you might start to like have few enough people that you can pick up on their voting pattern or things that they've done to indicate they might be a trader.
Is it just one trader throughout the whole season?
It's usually 3, but there can be like 4 or 2 depending on whether or not someone's voted out. Sometimes when a trader's voted out, they can recruit a new trader, but they don't always.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Why would you want a new trader? Oftentimes they recruit one so they can kind of throw them under the bus and be
It's like a decoy kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Fascinating.
Yeah, and then there are challenges to earn money, and at the end of the game, if the last people left are all faithfuls, then they get to share the money amongst themselves. But if there's a traitor in the last group, then they get all the money just for them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And each night they banish one person who they think is a traitor, and each night the traitors kill one of the faithful. But not really. But what I love about Alan Cumming is that he will never let the illusion go that you are genuinely going to be murdered and die.
Yeah.
He shows up and he's like, "Tonight one of you will be murdered. Your life will be over."
How far
Is
into
he
the season
French?
is...
Yeah, he's French. I think there's been 3 episodes so far, maybe 4.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a good times fun show. And that's how I leveled up. Who wants to go next? Johnny.
I leveled up. I've been playing BioShock because the next video I'm making after I finish Larry is a quick Switch review of BioShock. So I've been playing through that. I realized I was getting my way through, getting inside the smugglers area, that I don't have to play on hard. Because like I did the first time, I was like, let's just try this on medium for this playthrough. I'm a third of the way through the game, maybe. The game is better on medium. It's one of those games where the hard mode doesn't add much other than making the enemies a bullet sponge and you get less items. I would say you're going to have more fun playing it with the enemies being less of a bullet sponge because combat feels better, the weapons feel better. I do like games where the difficulty adds stuff. Like I think Halo and Dragon Age and Mass Effect actually play more interesting on harder difficulty levels, but BioShock does not. But it's cool playing BioShock again after so many years, because this time I'm actually trying out all the powers. Telekinesis I really ignored last time, and it actually turns out that's a really fun power. You can get out of reach items really easily in a way that Matt wishes was in this game. You can just go whoop with your hand and pick up items. It's pretty great.
Wish I had a magnet arrow is all I'm saying.
I got a super cool watch keychain, and it is a real glass flask like in Zelda with a blue fairy inside it and a real cork and everything. Like, it's just super well made. And the blue fairy looks really cute.
That's
It is
awesome.
really cute.
And when I was there picking up that keychain, I guess somehow Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door for the Switch landed in my bag. I don't know how that happened. I guess who knows?
You're just bringing up games that we need to play on the show, basically. Like, well, BioShock and Paper Mario. And
Well, I hope now we don't play BioShock for the show, because I just am playing through it now. I want to play through it a third time. And it's, yeah, so
We have been talking about doing BioShock for the show, though.
I know. And otherwise, I'm almost finished my Larry edit. I might even be able to finish it today, is my goal, but we'll see. What about Jim? I hear Jim saw a cool movie he thinks Johnny should see.
Yeah, I did see a cool movie. I went and saw Presents, just like the new Steven Soderbergh
like Santa
Ghost
Claus
movie.
brings?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and it has kind of a gimmick, like it's told from the perspective of the ghost in the house, which sounds like it could be super duper corny, but it's actually really well done, and it feels like even just this first person perspective has like character development throughout the movie, weirdly, in the way it like looks at things and interacts with things in the house, and it's a really well done story, and I like the movie a lot, and it has a super cool twist, and it's just a really fun to watch movie. It was good times. I also started another playthrough of Final Fantasy X, which is neat. I was like zooming through that game because I played it the day before I left for my work trip last week, then played it on the way over there, and then played it just a little bit in the hotel. And I'm like at the Moonflow already, which feels like I am just like hammering through the game.
Did you set
I think
it
a
so
lot of
that
bosses
your Blitzball one-hit kills all enemies?
No, this version of the game doesn't have any of those cheats.
Oh, okay.
It's not a
so
cheat.
I'm like actually playing it.
Oh, I thought you were...
Yeah, well, it doesn't have any of those like gameplay modifiers on it.
I thought you were implying that that it was like a cheat the way that I got the ultimate Blitzball by winning every single
Yeah, that's not a cheat.
Blitzball
That takes
game.
so much time. That's like the opposite of a
It takes so
cheat.
much time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was that a thing that you could turn on in the like a tweak that they let you do?
No, it's just you get an
release of the game?
the ultimate weapon for Waka is a Blitzball that's so powerful that it one hit kills almost everything.
Oh, that's right, because it breaks the 99,999
Yeah,
cap,
exactly.
doesn't it? Yeah. That's neat. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'm also replaying the Wolfenstein games, which is super fun. I finished the first one on my Steam Deck while I was away for work, and I started the second one today. And they're both so neat and so fun to play, and have such like they're both really different in the like the tones of their stories, but there's such cool like little world building stuff, and the characters are all super cool.
It's neat to see how
such a fun
many
game.
like BioShock obviously has influences from Thief and System Shock, and you can sort of see it in how they're made. Although BioShock has basically no, you can stealth through it, but why? How do you find?
Yeah.
Is there any stealth in those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a really stealthy playthrough on this one, and if you're stealthy enough in the beginning, the game adds like little combat modifiers through perks that you can unlock. And if you do enough stealth kills in the beginning, it will automatically unlock the silencer for your pistol.
Oh, nice.
And you can sneak through almost every level just shooting people with your silenced pistol from like across the room.
Huh.
And it's super duper fun.
I don't remember that part of Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, that is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Are you going to play the Old Blood after?
Yeah, I do like the Old Blood too. It's kind of stupid that that's like sold as its own thing. I feel like that should just come with Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's just like a little DLC level.
It's pretty big though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty big.
It's just, it feels like a more combat. It has less of the story and stealth and stuff. It's more of a combat game than the New Order.
Yeah, it's like go here and kill these people, and then, but yeah, I'll probably get to that after I do too. Matt, how did you level up?
Well, I haven't done a ton. I did watch the Persona 5 animation that came out. The English dub came out on Hulu this week. It was fine. Like,
Maybe it
it's
sounds
weird
like they
to
made some weird
watch.
choices.
They did. I don't want to spoil anything. But it is overall just kind of weird. Like, it very much is just like it's the game. Like they skip through the dungeons for the most part and just kind of like get to the end. But it does a good job hitting kind of like the emotional beats of each character's story. So that works. It's got the soundtrack, which is very catchy and good. It's not great. Like it was well worth watching. Like as like a hey, remember how good this was, and not like as its own thing. I would not recommend anybody that has not played the game bother watching the show. But it was good. It was a fun time. overall. And it did have some pretty shocking choices towards the end of the series that I won't get into. I guess other than that, the only thing that I've really done is I'm about halfway through this book, The Dead House Gates, which is the second book in Stephen Erickson's Malazan Books of the Fallen. And I think I mentioned the first book and how it was kind of a weird book that's like a real slow burn. And by the end, it was really good. And I had heard the second book was much better written. And I have to say that was correct. I would by 15% of the way into this book, I was like, oh, this book is good as hell. And now I'm about halfway through it, and it is fucking really good, big, epic, like military fantasy, kind of like a Game of Thrones meets The Black Company. It is fantastic. So any, other fantasy friends out there interested in that series, if you've somehow never read it, first book's a bit tough to get through, but now that I'm into the second one, I am absolutely loving it. That's really it. It's been a busy week for me for work, so that's about all I've done. I worked until 8:30 or 9 o'clock almost every night this week.
Is that all
and
of
that's
us?
it. Yep, that's everybody.
All right. Well, before we go, let's talk about our Patreon. Have we announced what we're playing for this month?
Yeah,
No.
The Case of the Golden Idol. We talked about it last time.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. We're playing Case of the
am
Golden Idol this month.
5 cases in? How many cases are there?
Nice. I don't know. But I don't require y'all to play the whole thing. I think we can just kind of talk about the mechanics and stuff, because it's a lot.
I think I'm in the 5th one.
I guess I can look it up. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
I
Obviously,
believe
my
it's all sets of
boyfriend.
3, right? I think there's 12 missions.
Oh, okay.
I think there's 4 sets of missions.
Oh man, they're probably gonna be so complicated by the end.
Yeah, that dinner
it
party
really
one
does.
is pretty big.
Yeah. Whoa, man.
Yes,
Who
Matt
was
is
sitting at
correct.
what
There are
place?
12 in total.
Yeah, there's like 15 characters in it. So we're playing that this month. For some reason in my brain, the title of that game doesn't stick. I always think of it as The Case of the Goblin, and I don't know why. I don't think
That sounds more fun. I want to play the Case of the Goblin.
it's always like The Case of the Goblin in my head. But we are playing Case of the Goblin this month. We've versed many other games on our Patreon. We've done some cool level ups. You can have access to all that content at the $3 level, at the $5 level. You can hear all that cool stuff, plus get the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. Another benefit of being a patron is we like to personally thank some of them on the air, and I'm going to start us off this week by thanking David Shook and Hayden Neff. Respectable name, Justin Ham, mostly rational person, addicted to the smell of natty ice, Doom Train, My Battery is Low, Cameron Shoei, and Amanda Pyers.
I'd like to thank Florian Jonas Kramer, Eric Garby, Stephen Paget, Rubber Bear, Daniel Wood, Matt Jorgensen, Julie, Chad Wilson, Chris Parsons, and Edarule.
I'd like to thank Saul Wagner, Brian Hassel, Ward, Childress, Lex Averial, Loafing Around, Wishbone is Gay, Rachel, Ryan Schmidt, J-Bone, and of course, Tyler.
I'd like to thank Sean Gonzalez, Chris Sasaki, Garl is Steven Universe, oh, you don't have the right, Butcher Pete's Sharp Salami. For Square Roots Podcast, I'm Stim Stanks, I'm Eric Pitkamini, RP Siege, Breegirth, and Thief, the Getting Lost Project. Ayo!
If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the show, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join our Facebook group on the Meta Hell site, right-wing social media platform, Facebook. We're called the Square Roots Podcast Group for SmartCo Very Attractive People, or on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Remember, you can call me whatever slur you want. It's fine. According
Join
to
the group and
Zuckerberg.
make a post with your favorite slur to call Johnny.
No, Vanessa. No. Also,
I like to call him a canuck.
Straight. That's my favorite.
I like to call him a taffer.
Also, send us a review or review this thing. I like it when you review the show. It makes me happy.
Me too.
And also, thanks to Stephen Morris, we use his theme lots. It's great.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brendan.
And I'm Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.